Hi, welcome back. Just thought I'd give you a review of the Whirlwind C4 Electric Bike. I've only had it for a few days and I've added some accessories like my bike rack from my old bike and had to make a couple of bits, a couple of torsions just to keep it in place, but no problem. Also added a spacer in here to keep it away from the brake mechanism itself. Went straight on the other side, no problem at all. Okay. Doesn't come with a rear light, so I've added my old rear light from my other bike, and also if I do need to lock it up, I can lock it up outside with no problem at all. Now these sell for about £500 new, completely foldable. Comes with disc brakes front and back, which are absolutely spot on. I mean, they really work well. So you've got front and back. Comes with plastic mudguards. So get mudguards with it, but no, a bit pathetic. If you use them in the rain, they're not really going to stop much. So these mudguards that were off my old e-bike. Which is that one there. That was a mid-motor drive, and the motor burnt out. So I couldn't do a lot with that. Also, this is single speed as far as mechanical speed is concerned. And that one is, or was, 7 speed. But again, the gear stripped out eventually. I bought that second hand, 400 quid, about 4 years ago, 5 years ago now. So it did a lot of work, had a lot of use out of it. So I took the mudguards off of that one and converted them to fit on this one. So if I do get caught in the rain, I'm not going to get it all up my shins and all over my shoes and cross as well. So yeah, so it matches up quite nicely actually. Right, now, does not have a throttle because in the UK they're not legal. It only has pedal assist. Which I shall show you. There you go, see I've got 100% battery at the moment. You have 0, which is for non-pedalling, for non-assistance with the pedal, in other words you're just pedalling. Which I've got to admit on this, starting off is quite hard. Depending on your leg strength. Then you have number 1, and believe me, it just takes off. It's quite a powerful little motor, a 240 watt motor. You've got pedal assist 2, which I find is quite useful. That's quite a nice speed. And you've got pedal assist 3. There's no way you can keep up pedalling in 3 because it hasn't got any mechanical gears on it. You can't keep up, impossible. So you just, if you're going to pedal, you just got to move the pedals around with your legs and make it look like you're pedaling, because the motor shifts you up to 15-16 miles an hour, because that's the legal limit in the UK. So You've got trip meter, miles per hour, pedal assist indicator, and your battery health. Quite straightforward. You press plus and hold it on, that will bring the light on, which I shall show you. A little icon up in the top right corner will appear, and there's your light. Extremely bright LED light, extremely bright. So yeah, very impressed with that. As I say, it doesn't come with a backlight. Don't quite understand why not, but a lot of them don't come with a backlight. I don't know why. Yeah, these handle grips are quite nice because you can just rest the palm of your hand on there, which is quite nice. Easy to operate the brakes. Also on the display, when you operate the brakes, you end up with a little indicator come up on the dash to say it's disengaged the motor. The motor is automatically disengaged, doesn't matter what pedal assist you're in. So if you think you're going to get yourself into trouble, you can literally just put the brake on, it will disengage the motor. It's not too bad to pick up, it's quite lightweight. You can pick it up without an effort. Got a little side kickstand. Now some of the reviews I read, one person said that the kickstand snapped off. Now I'm not quite sure how that would have happened because this kickstand is quite substantial. So I'm a bit confused with that. Yeah, spokeless wheels, which is quite nice, so you haven't got to worry about spokes coming loose. The pedals, they fold. Just push them in with your hand. I'll show you. Push it in with the hand and they fold down really easy. Just flip it out and it comes out very easily. Very, very good welds. Absolutely. It's very good welds. Might be a cheap bike, but they didn't cheapen on the welds or the materials. Saddle, you can move up and down. The only thing I will say, I changed the saddle from my old saddle off my other bike because the saddle they supply is rock hard. Absolutely no suspension in it whatsoever. That's the only downside I would say. You've got measurements here for the height. So once you remember the figure, this is 160. That's the right height for me. It's easy. If you bring the saddle right down, it's easy to put it back, and you've got the locks there. They're adjustable, so you can adjust how much strength you need to hold it. So it folds more or less in the middle. You've got a lock. There are lots of other videos showing this as well. So you lock that. So to unfold it, you literally pull it open and then you can fold it. It's quite stiff on this one, so but it's easy enough. Just push it, put the lock across, easy, all with one hand, no problem at all. Yeah, I'm very, very impressed with the workmanship on this machine. Everything absolutely extreme. The only other bike I've ever seen this kind of welding on is on that electric bike there. It's German made, and the welds are just like this. Absolutely solid. The battery is kept in this part. It's not removable. Well, it is, but you'd have to take two screws out and take the plate out if you're going to replace the battery. But literally takes probably less than 10 minutes. And in this section you've got the controller. Same thing, undo two screws and you can replace the controller. Not that you should ever have to, but there's always that chance you might do. But spares are quite reasonable. I looked up spare availability, and yeah, no problem with spares. There is one thing that's a bit concerning. Now, bear with me one moment while I just unfold it. Okay, right, now I've popped it up just so you can see this. Now, these are the contactors which are directly connected to the controller, and this is the battery side. And the only thing that does concern me is any seal. There is no water seal at all. So if you get caught in a very bad downpour, there's a good chance that water could get in there. So yeah, I couldn't quite understand why they just didn't put a rubber seal around there to seal that up better, because water can just run into here and cause you problems. That was both ways, you know what I mean, because two screws on each of these and these panels come out. So yeah, this is not great. I'm not sure about this, but I've got an idea how I can seal this better, with a bit of rubber stick-on sealant. I think will make that much more waterproof than it is, because yeah, that's a bit disturbing. Yeah. The only other thing is where the wire's going underneath, where all the cable's running. Again, that's not sealed either. That's just an open hole. So again, water could splash up inside there, and eventually could cause you problems in the controller. So I think a bit of silicone is going to go around that to seal those cables up, because to me that's a water risk. But everywhere else the motor is completely sealed. I don't quite understand why they've left such obvious water penetration points. I don't quite understand that. The actual controller part itself seems pretty sealed. Now I'm hoping that they've put a rubber seal around the inside of that, so that no water penetration can take place. Now on my other bike I had a very similar problem where water got in the controller and it caused all sorts of things happen to the bike motor, and I found that wasn't very well sealed at all. But I'm hoping they haven't made the same mistake on this one. But the proof will be in the pudding, of course. But yeah, those 2 points I'm definitely going to deal with, and I will show you how I'm going to deal with them. Okay. Apart from that, that's the only thing I would say. But as I say, you've got to realise that it's got a top speed of 16 miles an hour. So it can, you know, it applies to all the UK ruling, so it's not a problem there. But because it's got no gears, it's just a single, you know, just like a single gear wheel with a ratchet on it. As I say, number 3, you definitely can't keep up. Your legs are going around 90 miles an hour, so you've literally just got to pretend that you're pedalling, because there's no way you'll be able to pedal faster. But the motor's plenty powerful enough. Now it says it's got a maximum of 15-degree climb. Now I'm thinking that they mean that is a 15-degree climb with just the motor alone. As I say, it's a fairly powerful motor for what it is. I'm only 8 stone, so it has no problem moving me around. A friend of mine, he rode it. He's 17 stone, and yeah, it drove him around no problem at all. He had no problem, jumped straight on it. Hadn't ridden a push bike for 30 odd years. Got straight on it, drove off, had no problems with it at all. As far as the 14-inch wheels, they're not really an issue either. I mean, I would avoid bloody great potholes, but even on a big bike, I would avoid great big potholes. I mean, that's 26-inch, and to be honest, that bike was too big for me. This is absolutely perfect for me. I'm 5'7", and it says it can take up to a 6-foot person. You can raise the handlebars right up without a problem. So, you know, pretty good indeed. Got nothing to moan about. I'm going to do a few more rides on it yet. I've only done one sort of major ride on it. That was over to my mate's house. But I'm going to sort out this. Yeah, definitely. There's enough room there. There's a little bit of a step there, so you could quite easily put some rubber around there to keep that sealed, which I'm going to do, and then I'll show you what I've done. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I made a modification. This is stick-on foam rubber, but it's not the. This is quite dense foam. You can get this from the pound shop. It is really dense, but spongy. That's the stuff you want. Don't get ordinary draft excluder foam. That just absorb water. This will keep it out. Now I've literally just put this on here. Now I've done 2 different cuts. The reason being is where the joins are here and here, here and here. I've done it the other way on this one, so that the joins are here, here, here and here. So that this completely seals across these joins. Same at the bottom. So you want one lot cut one way, one lot cut the other. Okay? And I don't think you'll have any water get in there at all, or any moisture get in there, which is, you know, basically what you want in it, or not what you want. So, right, I'm going to put it back together now, so just bear with me one moment. Okay, yeah, well, that works fine. You can just about see the seal down there. No problem at all. So at least you won't get any water and dust and crap get in there. As I say, the next thing I'm going to do is where those cables going and put some silicone in there. Because to me, that definitely could cause a problem if water splashes up inside there. So that's the next job, and I shall show you that when I've done it. Okay? Okay, a couple of other places I've put silicone is just here is where the battery is held in with 2 screws. Now the screws aren't an exact fit, so again there's room for water to leak inside there, and it could get into your battery. So it's worth sticking a bit of silicone in there. Now, put silicone around the cables. The reason why I've used silicone and not hot glue, and I would suggest you don't use hot glue, if you need to change the cables at any point, silicone is easier to get off than hot glue. Once hot glue is on there, you'll never get it off. So that's why I've done it with silicone. And use the see-through, you know, clear. That way it's not so obvious. Once the bike's up on its proper junctions, you won't see it anyway. The only other place I would mention would be where the cable entry is on the electric motor. I would suggest pop just a little bit in there. Just to stop any water, of course, getting in there. It's just not worth the risk. Because if you're a person on a budget, which most of us are these days, you cannot afford for your bike to be unreliable. So these are just little hints that could be useful to keep your bike going. Okay? Right, so that's those slight modifications that I've done. So hopefully that is going to stop any water penetrating into anything on the bike where it shouldn't be. So I should be able to be in the biggest downpour and I shouldn't have any electrical problems. Hopefully. So I'm going to go out on a run now and come along for the ride, as they say, and I'll be back in a moment. Oh, lovely day today. A bit breezy still, but nothing bad. Pleasant.